At the very beginning, you can see Saul was very mindful of building like a dynasty. So he had his son. He chose 2,000 men. Okay, that he was familiar with, but he also chose another 1,000 men that his son Jonathan had under him. So right there, as you can see, Saul was setting up like he had the intention of setting up a dynasty after his old age and he's passed, and then he was going to pass in rulership to his son Jonathan. Okay, that's what you can see. That's what he was planning from the very onset. Read verse 2 again.
Verse 2. Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash, in the Mount Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibeah of Benjamin, and the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent.
Right, so he chose 2,000 men who were with him, and he chose 1,000 that were with Jonathan his son. Those 3,000 were, you could say, men of his immediate governance. Okay, and the other people basically just sent them back to their respective territories, their homes. Read.
Verse 3. And Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was in Gibeah.
So you see, Jonathan was a mighty man. You see, Jonathan smoked them. So Jonathan was a man of battle right there also, a warrior. Okay, that's why his father had respect of the men that was under Jonathan. Read.
And the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear.
Right, so Jonathan smote some Philistines at a certain location within the Philistine empire. Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was in Gibeah, a certain part of the Philistine territory. And the rest of the Philistines heard about it, so now they get mad about that. So now they were planning to wage a full-scale war against Israel. So Saul won, and Saul blew the trumpet. Saul blew the trumpet. What's the purpose of blowing the trumpet?
To alert the people.
To alert the people. The trumpet can make a variety of sounds. A sound for war, a sound for peace, a sound for a feast time. You know what I mean? So when the trumpet makes a distinctive sound, you know what that sound signifies. Understand? And the sound that the trumpet made at this particular time was to what? To alert the people that we are under attack. We are about to be attacked. We are under siege now. So gird up your loins and get ready for battle. Okay, that was the purpose of that blowing the trumpet. Read.
Verse 4. And all Israel heard say that Saul had smitten a garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also had an abomination with the Philistines. And the people were called together after Saul in Gilgal.
Right, so all the people were on high alert. Just like in America, they try to make certain sounds. They say certain color, they give certain color to the sound. This is a red alert, what do I mean? Yeah, they're trying to copy us, you know what I mean? But but the most had certain distinctive sounds to alert Israel, of the issue at hand, of the situation at hand. So now Israel was very aware of the situation that there's an imminent confrontation with the Philistines, one of our arch nemesis. You know what I'm saying? One of our arch rivals, or always battling with Israel. Read.
Verse 5. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots.
30,000 chariots, read.
And 6,000 horsemen.
6,000 horsemen.
And people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude.
And people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. The innumerable, a whole lot of people. Like the whole Philistine empire was now gathering to fight against Israel. Read on.
And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward from Bethel.
Yeah, that's where Saul was originally. Michmash. Read eastward
from Beth Aven. Verse 6. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves, and in thickets, and in rocks, and in high places, and in pits.
Wow. So Israel, they was afraid of the Philistines because the Philistines were a mighty army. And Israel was hiding themselves all over the place. In caves, in thickets, in rocks, in the hills, and the pits. Read on.
Verse 7. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead, as for Saul.
See that? Hold on. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan. Remember Jordan? Let's remember Jordan right there in the middle, right? Right. Middle of Gad. This is Gad right there. Okay, because we want to alert all the tribes in all the locations that, yo, we need your help. We're under attack by these Philistines. So they went to River Jordan. So because remember, when Israel first occupied the land, Gad, the half tribe of Manasseh and Reuben, they occupied the eastern part of Jerusalem, east of Jordan, because the land was fertile and suitable for cattle rearing. You understand? So that's where Gad, Reuben, and half of Manasseh were located. Read on.
Verse 7. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad
and Gilead.
As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling.
So the people, they were afraid when they looked and they saw all those Philistines, they were scared, man. They were trembling. Read on.
Verse 2. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, Bring hither a burnt offering to me, and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. And Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him.
Right. So because Samuel was still very respected, because they know how we communicated with the people, how we interceded on behalf of Israel with the Mosai. Was that, you know what I mean? So even though the governance had changed now from judges to kingship, Samuel was still very well respected as a prophet in Israel. So Saul was was happy to see Samuel. Read on.
Verse 11. And Samuel said, What hast thou done? And Samuel said, Because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou comest not within the days appointed, that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Lord.
So Saul violated. Because what Saul did was, that was not his office. Saul offered burnt offerings. That was not his job. Because what? Why was that not Saul's job? Right. Saul was a Benjamin. Understand? And Saul had no business doing that, making offerings to the Mosai. He could have it done on his behalf by a Levite, which was Samuel, or other men that were Levite tribes with Samuel, but Saul himself had no business doing that. He was a king, but he was not a priest. So what he did was in violation, and Samuel was upset with him for that. Go ahead.
Sirach, chapter 45, verse 6, and drop down to 15.
All right. Get a Sirach, the Apocrypha.
45 and 6.
You read verse 6, drop down to verse 15.
In the Red Apocrypha, page 98, Sirach, chapter 45 and verse 6. He exalted Aaron, an holy man like unto him, even his brother of the tribe of Levi. An everlasting covenant he made with him, and gave him the priesthood among the people. He purified him with comely ornaments, and clothed him with a robe of glory.
Right. Yeah, the Most High, right. Exalted Aaron, right? And his sons after him. Understand that's where the office of the priesthood came from. Aaron and his sons. And made up from his lineage. Go on, read that. Go on.
Verse 15. Moses consecrated him and appointed him with holy oil.
Right, that's Moses consecrated who? Aaron. Read on.
This was appointed unto him by an everlasting covenant to his seed. So,
and by the way, the priesthood didn't come from just any Levite or all Levites. It came from only the Levites, but not all Levites. And I hope you understand the distinction. It only came from Levites, but it came from a particular lineage within the Levite tribe. From Aaron lineage. Okay? I read on.
This was appointed unto him by an everlasting covenant.
An everlasting covenant, meaning what? It can't be broken. It can't be infiltrated. It can't be superseded. It can't be replaced. It's everlasting. Read on.
And to his seed.
And to his seed, meaning what? People who came from the lineage of Aaron. So there can't be anyone can say, well, I'm a Levite too, so no, it ain't like that. That came from the lineage of Aaron. Read on.
So long as the heavens should remain.
Because that's what the Most High is. If you do a diligent work, the Most High reward you and your seed after you. Understand? As a token of his appreciation for what? You representing him in his office and his mission. And reading the scripture, we're going to see that. Read on.
So long as the heavens should remain, that they should minister unto him, and execute the office of the priesthood, and bless the people in his name.
Right, go back to Samuel.
1 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 13. And Samuel said to Saul, Thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy power, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever.
See that? Oh, man. That move that Saul did cost him the kingdom. Because Samuel said, you done foolishly. You haven't kept the commandment of the Most High. If you have kept the commandment of the Most High would have established his kingdom with you forever. Understand? Meaning what? After, just like Saul had in mind to pass his kingdom on to Jonathan, the Most High would have sanctified that, and even had Jonathan's son after him inherit the rulership going forward eternally in Israel. But because of Saul's violation, taking on the role of the priesthood, which was designated specifically for the Levites, now he defaulted on that. He lost that rulership that Moses had in mind for him. Eternally. Read on.
Verse 14. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. For the Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath commanded him to be a captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee.
Right, see? The Most High was so what? It requires you to be obedient to him. You can't go rogue, so to speak. You can't all of a sudden want to establish your own law because you're in a certain seat now. You want to deviate from the statutes and commandments that the Most High gave you at the very beginning. Because the Most High don't put you in a certain position, you know what I mean, haphazardly, and that's how you feel things out. No. He tells you what the protocol is from the very beginning. I understand, this is always going to be. This is always supposed to be, so I want you to do. Follow that, and your rulership will continue forever or for whatever number of times the Most High designate. But if you want to do your own thing, then it's going to cost you. Read on.
And Samuel rose and gat him up from Gilgal unto Gibeah of Benjamin, and Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men. And Saul and Jonathan his son, and the people that were present with them, abode in Gibeah of Benjamin. But the Philistines encamped in Michmash. And the spoilers came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies. One company turned into the way that leadeth to Ophrah unto the land of Shual. And another company turned the way to Beth Horon. And another company turned to the way of the border that looketh to the valley of Zebulun toward the wilderness.
Right, so the Saul told Samuel, what the deal was, and that because of your violation, you're going to lose the kingdom. You're not going to rule forever. Then Saul, Samuel that's up and went, left the territory. I know the Philistines were now, coming up against, coming up to camp around Israel. Read on.
Verse 19. Now there was no smith found throughout all Israel, all the land of Israel. For the Philistines said, let the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man's share, and his coiler, and his axe, and his mattock.
Right, so it's like there was the border, there was a close Israel and the Philistines were in close proximity. So they're like, you could say like a love-hate relationship, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because the Israelites were going down into Philistines territory to even sharpen their weapons. Because we didn't just fight against the Philistines, we had wars with other nations also. And sometimes, we were okay with the Philistines and at the war with other nations. And when we were okay with the Philistines, they allowed us to come down because they were a warlike nation, and they had all the military infrastructure set up where we could build our weapons, sharpen our swords and all that. Bow and arrows and all that. But the Philistines now they plan to war against us. They cut off all those links. We couldn't go into their territories anymore. Read.
Verse 21. Yet they had a file for the mattocks, and for the coilers, and for the forks, and for the axes, and to sharpen the goads. So it came to pass in the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and with Jonathan his son was there found. And the garrison of the Philistines went out to the passage of Michmash.
Right, so because that link or connection with the Philistines was cut off, now the Israelite military was lacking. That's it. It's like, like in today's war, only certain countries are able to supply certain weapons of a certain level. You know what I mean? So, and one way to neutralize the enemy is what? To cut off that connection. Cut off the connection where, if America says wage war with the Iran, they would try to prevent Iran from getting weapons from Russia or China. Other people can supply them with arms. So that's what the Philistine, that's one of a military maneuver right there to weaken your enemy. Right? That's what the Philistine were doing to Israel. Cutting off a connection from the various cities in the Philistines where the Israelites previously could just go down and have the weapons brought up to a certain level. Okay, now we're in chapter 13, now go to chapter 14.
Chapter 14. Now it came to pass upon a day that Jonathan the son of Saul said unto the young men that bare his armor, Come, and let us go over to the Philistines' garrison, that is on the other side. But he told not his father.
Right, so Jonathan was like a powerful man within his father's military or sovereignty, but his father probably just gave him a certain authority. He trusted him on a certain level. So now Jonathan was making sort of maneuver to go down into the Philistine territory without the acknowledgement of or consent of his father.
Verse 2. And Saul tarried in the uttermost part of Gibeah under a pomegranate tree, which is in Migron. And the people that were with him were about 600 men. And Ahiah and the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Philistines, Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh, wearing an ephod. And the people knew not that Jonathan was gone. And between the passage by which Jonathan sought to go over to the Philistines' garrison, that was a sharp rock on one side, and a sharp rock on the other side. And the name of the one was Bozez, and the name of the other was Sineh. And the forefront of the one was situate northward over against Michmash, and the other southward over against Gibeah. And Jonathan said to the young man that bare his armor, Come, let us go over to the garrison of the uncircumcised. It may be that the Lord will work for us, for there is no restraint to the Lord to save by many or by few. And his armor bearer said unto him, Do all that is in thy heart. Turn thee, behold, I am with thee according to thy heart. Then said Jonathan, Behold, we will pass over unto these men, and we will discover ourselves unto them. If they say unto us, Tarry until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place, and we will not go up unto them. But if they say us thus, Come unto us, then we will go up, for the Lord hath delivered them into our hand, and this shall be a sign unto us. And both of them discovered themselves unto the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, Behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they had hid themselves. And the men of the garrison answered Jonathan and his armor bearer and said, Come up to us, and we will shew you a thing. And Jonathan said unto his armor bearer, Come up after me, for the Lord hath delivered them into the hand of Israel.
So Jonathan was waging war against the Philistines without his father's knowledge and consent. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you call it ego or pride. He was trying to make a name for himself or what. You know what I'm saying? So he left off from where he was, brought his men, and invaded the Philistines' garrison, and made himself available to them. Read on.
Verse 13. And Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer slew after him. And that first slaughter which Jonathan and his armor bearer made was about 20 men, with as it were an half acre of land, which a yoke of oxen might plow. And there was trembling in the host in the field, and among all the people, the garrison, and the spoilers, they also trembled. The earth quaked, so it was a very great trembling. And the watchmen of Saul in Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and they went on beating down one another. Then said Saul to the verse 17. Then said Saul unto the people that were with him, number now and see who is gone from us. And when they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor bearer were not there.
Right. So now Saul is realizing that Jonathan was missing. He started to check, like a census, a count of who was among them. And realized that Jonathan was missing. I read on.
Verse 18. And Saul said unto Ahiah, bring hither the ark of God, for the ark of God, the Most High, was at the time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass, while Saul talked unto the priest, that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, withdraw thine hand. And Saul and the other people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great discomfort. Moreover, discomfiture. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before the time, which went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan.
See that? Because like I'm saying, that they have a love-hate relationship, because they kind of like intermingled. Because even Israelites used to like roll it down with the Philistines when the Philistines were fighting against other nations. But right now, they realize that what? Now Israel is fighting against the Philistines, so the Israelites who were in the company of the Philistines said, you know what? No, I gotta be with my people now. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're fighting against another enemy now. We're fighting against, fighting against you guys, and I'm not gonna link up with you to kill my own people. Right. So they withdrew themselves from the Philistines and rejoined with their nation, the Israelites, Jonathan and Saul. Read.
Verse 22. Likewise, all the men of Israel which had hid themselves in Mount Ephraim, when they had heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle. So the Lord saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over unto Beth Aven.
So this initial adventure that Jonathan took against the Philistines were successful in Israel's behalf. And when the Israelites were hiding, because the military prowess of the Philistines saw that the Philistines were defeated, they got encouraged. So now they joined with the fellow Israelites. Read on.
Verse 24. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged of my enemies. So none of the people taste any food. And all they of the land came to a wood, and there was honey upon the ground.
And all they of the land came to a wood, and there was honey upon the ground. Read on.
Verse 26. And when the people were coming to the wood, behold, the honey drops, but no man put his hand in his mouth, for the people feared the oath. Right.
So Saul made the people swear to fast. Understand? Until they had a military success over the Philistines. And even when the people came and they were hungry, they came to a certain location with the honey. Just dropping out the wood, man. Just dropping, you know what I mean? But no one wanted to eat the honey, but because they were in fast an oath that they swear to the Most High and behalf of Saul. Read.
Verse 26.
It wasn't a honey literally could have been other food, fruits and whatever. You know what I mean? But the phrase milk and honey, that's symbolic of what? A fertile and land of plenty. Right?
Verse 26. And when the people came into the wood, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in a honeycomb. And put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened.
Right. But Jonathan didn't know about the oath that Saul made his people to swear. So take. So Jonathan was in, you could say, the lack of knowledge was going contrary to what Saul had intended, that the people should take an oath collectively. I read on.
Then answered one of the people and said, Thy father straitly charged the people with an oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. Then Jonathan said, My father hath troubled the land. See, I pray you, how my eyes have been enlightened, because I tasted a little of this honey.
Right. So the reminder they makes Jonathan be aware of the oath that his father Saul made the people to take. But Jonathan, he dismissed the credibility of the oath, the validity of the oath. He said, Look at me now. My father violated. Look how strong I am because of the honey that I tasted. Read.
Verse 30. How much more if happily the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found? For had there not been now a much greater slaughter among the Philistines?
Right. So Saul was saying, so Jonathan was saying, look at the way I'm strengthened, I'm enlightened by just a taste of the honey. Can you imagine if all the soldiers would have a taste of this honey, how strengthened they would be, and how much more of the Philistines will be able to kill, how much more valiant and and courageous our people would be. So he was at this point encouraging the soldiers to forget about that. To break that oath that they had made with his own father. So read on.
Verse 31. And they smote the Philistines in that day from Michmash to Ahajalon. And the people were very faint.
Yeah, the Philistines and the people were very faint. I don't know if he didn't, at this point he didn't indicate whether or not they disregarded the oath that they made with Saul and followed after Jonathan and eat the honey or what. He said they were very faint, so that might be an indication that they kept the oath. Read on.
Verse 32. And the people flew upon the spoil, and took sheep and oxen and calves, and slew them on the ground. And the people did eat them with the blood.
And the people did eat them with the blood.
Then
that's how faint they were. Because we know that's a violation. That's to eat anything with eat the blood of any animal. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat it raw. What? It wasn't cooked. What? Read it again. Read it.
32? 32?
34? 32.
I'm at 32.
Yeah.
Verse 32. And the people flew upon the spoil, and took sheep and oxen and calves, and slew them on the ground. And the people did eat them with the blood. Then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against the Lord, and that they eat with the blood. And he said, Ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day.
Right, so they eat the blood. I mean, they eat raw meat or not properly cooked. It's like an indication that it's raw meat. Because That's how hungry they were. Right? Yeah. Which is a violation because that's totally contrary to the Most High's laws, starting the commandments to eat anything with blood. Read.
Verse 34. And Saul said, disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat, and sin not against the Lord in thy eating with the blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there.
So Saul told him, bring your ox and your sheep and whatever, on the spoil them, and cook them, bring them here and slay them and cook. So I guess in this case Saul had situation set up where they could properly cook the animals, so they wouldn't be in violation, you know.
Verse 35. And Saul built an altar unto the Most High. The same was the first altar that he built unto the Lord. And Saul said, let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they said, do whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Then said the priest, let us draw near hither unto God. And Saul asked counsels of the Most High, shall I go down after the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day.
Right, so Saul had planned to attack the Philistines, but he inquired of the Most High, when the Most High didn't give him an answer. Read on.
And Saul said, draw ye near hither, all the chief of the people, and know and see wherein this sin hath been this day. For as the Lord liveth, which saved Israel, though it be in Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among all the people that answered him. Then said he unto all Israel, be ye on one side, and I and Jonathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said unto Saul, do what seemeth good unto thee.
Saul was wondering why the Most High didn't answer him. So he wanted to know if anyone was in a violation or in transgression. Understand? And Saul said, if anyone is found in transgression, he's going to die, even if it's my own son Jonathan. But they didn't. No one was found in transgression. So read on.
Verse 41. Therefore Saul said unto the Most High Power of Israel, give a perfect lot. And Saul said, and Saul and Jonathan were taken, but the people escaped. And Saul said, cast lots between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what thou hast done. And Jonathan told him and said, I did but taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand, and lo, I must die.
Right. Okay, so now Saul inquired of the Most High, who was at fault? Was it Jonathan? Was it Saul? Or was it the people? It wasn't the people.
Mm-hmm.
Then it came down to either Jonathan or Saul. Then the found out it was Jonathan. Why? Because Jonathan was in a violation of the oath that Saul had made. And even though the oath was taken with Jonathan not being aware of it, it was brought to his attention. And even when it was brought to his attention, he still disregarded the oath and decided to go according to his own feelings. I read on. 44.
Verse 44. And Saul answered, God do so and more also, for thou shalt surely die, Jonathan. And the people said unto Saul, shall Jonathan die, who hath wrought this great salvation in Israel? Most I forbid. For as the Lord liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground. For he hath wrought with God this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not. Then Saul went up from following the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. So Saul took the kingdom of Israel and fought against all his enemies on every side, against Moab, against the children of Ammon, against Edom, and against the king of Zobah, and against the Philistines, whithersoever he turned himself, he vexed them.
See that? Jonathan meant that they loved Jonathan. Because at the decree, Saul came his oath at that time and said, "Yeah, my son, I love you, but hey, you're in a violation, and I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that, hey, because of your violation, you deserve to die." And Saul said, "Yeah, you deserve to die." But the people who rode with Jonathan, who was in his company, they said, "No, Jonathan does not deserve to die. He delivered us from our enemies." Understand? He's a valiant man, a loyal man, a man of valor, who defeated these Philistines. No, so Jonathan's man rescued him from Saul, and they fled from the face of Saul. And then Saul now on his own with other men went and waged war against his enemies on every side. And Saul took the kingdom over Israel. So Saul is now a full-fledged ruler over Israel. And Saul took the kingdom over Israel and fought against all his enemies on every side. Let me see what on the other side, so. First Saul was Moab. Moab down there. And the children of Ammon. Who's Ammon? Ammon over there, right? See Ammon?
I think he said Edom.
Moab, Ammon, and against Edom. Edom is further down here. There's Edom right there. Edom, right?
Who was?
Ammon, Edom.
Philistines.
The Philistines
And,
in the south.
and against the kings of Zobah. Where's Zobah? And Zobah is,
Aram is all
okay. Don't show Zobah. Okay, Zobah. And against the Philistines. And whithersoever he turned himself, he vexed them. So all the enemies round about Israel Saul fought against them. Moab, Ammon, Edom. Those are the Philistines. And read on.
Verse 48. And he gathered a host and smote the Amalekites and delivered Israel out of the hands of them that spoiled them.
Right. So all those nations were vexing Israel, man. That's why the Israelites were able to sometimes, occasionally, linked up with the Philistines to show them their weapons and all that to fight against the other enemies. You know.
Now the sons of Saul were Jonathan and Ishua and Melchishua, and the names of his two daughters were these: the name of the firstborn Merab, and the name of the younger Mashal. And the name of Saul's wife was Ahinoam. And the daughters of Ahimaaz, and the name of the captain of his host was Abner, and the son of Ner, Saul's uncle.
Saul had the sons Ishua and Melchishua, and he had two daughters, Merab, the firstborn daughter, and Michal, the younger daughter. Saul's wife was Ahinoam, the daughter of Ahimaaz, and the name of the captain of his host was Abner, the son of Ner, Saul's uncle. So his nephew was the captain of his host. Okay, the son of his, wait a minute. No. And the name of captain of his host was Abner, the son of Ner, Saul's uncle. The son of Saul's uncle, that was his cousin. Oh, that was his cousin. Right, his first cousin. Okay, right. So Saul's, the captain of the host was Abner. Yeah, I was wondering, why would you put your nephew over the captain of the host instead of your son? But it was his cousin, because he was probably a more experienced warrior, older and more experienced than Jonathan, his son. Okay. All right, so that's where we are now. Verse 51.
Verse 51. And Kish was the father of Saul, and Ner, the father of Abner, was the son of Abiel. And there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong man or any valiant man, he took him unto him.
Right, so he was constantly recruiting valiant men. Always recruiting warriors, because the war against the Philistine was relentless, man. There was no end to the war, the rivalry. You know what I mean? Well, with Israel and the Philistines. Read.
Chapter 15. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Most High of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt.
Right, see that? Remember that?
Yeah.
Now Samuel was reminding Saul, the Most High sent me to anoint you to be king over Israel. And Saul is basically now telling Saul, Samuel was telling Saul about the Amalekites, or the attack Israel when we were coming out of Egypt. We were faint, we were hungry, thirsty, tired, about the drop down and all that. They wouldn't give us water or food, and they would attack us. So Samuel was a man in Saul of all that. Read.
Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have. Spare them not, but slay both men and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and donkey.
That was coming from the Most High. But then the Most High tells Samuel to tell Saul to slay all, not some, but all the Amalekites, men, women, children, even the animals, cattle, oxen, all that. Infant and suckling, oxen, sheep, camel, and donkeys. So there should be not anything remaining of the Amalekites. Not people or creatures otherwise. That was an order from the Most High, through Samuel to Saul. Read on.
And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen.
200,000 footmen.
And 10,000 men of Judah.
And 10,000 men of Judah. Read on.
And Saul came to the city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley.
So now they were besieging Amalek. Read.
And
who's Amalek, by the way? Who's Amalek? Right, there was like a certain tribe of Edom. Understand? Right. Read on.
Verse 6. And Saul said unto Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye
right,
shall...
so who were the Kenites? No, they were not Israelites. They were like allies with Israel. You know what I'm saying? They were men who were because Israel we had friends with other nations at the time, also. Just like we in the earlier chapter we read about Israel was be a part of the company of the Philistines to fight against other nations who were enemy with the Philistines. But when Israel was fighting against the Philistines, they say no, they left from among the Philistines and joined up with their Israelites. So the Kenites also were like other nationalities that were friends with Israel and also the Philistines. So you had just like today you will see the
Allies.
Yeah, they have allies. One time, if you look at what's going on in the Middle East, at a certain point in time, certain nations maybe with Iran, maybe with America, maybe with Russia, depending on what was convenient for them at the time, which country is more influential in them. influence, I mean, what's more beneficial for them economically and all that, and how much they use the sanctions and all that. So some of these countries are they just move about. I mean, they like no, you know what I mean, like they have no set loyalty to anybody. So at a certain point in time, it depends on what's convenient for them. Read on. Read.
Verse
6, verse 6. Read 6 again.
Verse 6. And Saul said unto Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them.
Right, because Israel had a good rapport, relationship with the Kenites. So they said, Kenites, get away from the Amalekites, because if you find you amongst them, we're going to destroy you with them. All right, read on.
For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites.
Right, see that? So the Kenites were one of the few nations who showed Israel any kind of love when we were coming out of Egypt. No, the Amalekites, they were the opposite. You know what I'm saying? They slaughtered, they attacked us and killed us. You know?
Verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havel unto the Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. Mm-hmm. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
Right. So, what was the order that Samuel gave Saul? As per the Moses, everybody, all the Amalekites should die. You can see right here that Saul was in a violation because to Agag the king, he killed everybody else for the spirit of the king. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag the king of the Amalekites alive. Wow. And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. He saved the king, but destroyed all the other people. Read on.
Verse 9. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and the oxen.
Not only did they spare Agag, they saved the best of the sheep. Read on.
And of the oxen, mm-hmm. and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they utterly destroyed. They destroyed utterly.
So basically, he destroyed the lame animals, but he saved on the fat and goodly ones. It wasn't that's like a lack of faith in the Most High. That's like a lack of faith in the Most High, and not believing that the Most High can provide for you. Like if you think that you know more than what the Most you know more than the Most High. You can provide for Israel what the Most High can't. The Most High said to kill everybody and everything, but you decided. Say you want to say the animal. Why would you want to say the king? Let's read on. Let's see what happened.
Verse 10. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he is turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieveth Samuel, and he cried unto the Most High all night.
Right, then the Most High was having regret about choosing Saul to be king, because Saul was not following the commandments that the Most High gave him. And he told Samuel that Samuel was very vexed. Samuel was very, frustrated about that all night, and he cried unto the Most High all night. Read.
And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal.
What I mean, he set him up a place and is gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal. Read on.
Verse 13, and Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Most High.
And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Most High. How simple was this guy, man? He really thought he performed the commandment of the Most High when he kept the king alive and the animals alive. And then you were talking to the prophet of the Most High as if he could mislead him. Read on.
And Samuel said, What meaneth thee this bleating of sheep in my ears, and the fault and the lowing of the oxen which I hear?
Samuel said, What? Oh, you kept the commandments of the Most High, huh? So what is it bleating? What is the sound of the sheep I'm hearing in the background? What are those? What's that noise, man? What's that, What was it? And someone said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my ears and the blowing of the oxen which I hear? What's all that noise? I hear cows in the background. I hear oxen. I hear sheep. I thought it was supposed to be killed, Saul. So how do they need to command? How do they need to keep the commandment of the Most High if they're still alive? Read on.
Verse 15. And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said to Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee which the Lord hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel. And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners of the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore they didst thou.
Read 19 again.
19? No, 18?
Read 19.
Wherefore then didst thou not.
Wherefore then didst not. Okay, go ahead.
Slakia. 19. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon thy spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Most High.
Right, so Samuel reminded Saul, when you were young, did the Most High choose you to be king over Israel and give you commandment to destroy all the Amalekites and all their substance of oxen and sheep and all that? Why did you not obey the word of the Most High? Why did you fly upon evil? Why did you get carried away into thinking that you should take the spoils of these nations? Read on.
Verse 20. And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Most High, and have gone the way which the Most High sent me. I have brought Agag, the king of the Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, and the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Most High their power in Gilgal.
So look at it now. He's being simple, and he's making a scapegoat now. No, he's trying to blame the people now. And he said what? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Most High, and have gone the way which the Most High sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek. You brought him, you weren't supposed to bring him, you weren't supposed to kill him. And have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. Yeah, you destroyed the other Amalekites, but why did you save the king? But the people, now we're blaming the people. But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Most High, that power in Gilgal. Now it's blaming the people for saving those animals. Read on.
Verse 22. And Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice, as in obeying the voice of the Lord. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice,
right,
and to hearken than to fat of rams.
Right, you're two of our favorite scriptures.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And Samuel said, hath the Most High as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Most High? Does the Most High have delight in offerings and sacrifices more than in you obeying the commandments He gives you? He gives you? No. Because if you were to obey these commandments in the first place, there wouldn't be any need for the sacrificing animals.
Right.
What was the purpose of the animal sacrifice? Yeah, one of the purposes was to make atonement for our sins. There could also be peace offerings and all that, which had nothing to do with our transgressions. But what? One of the main purposes of the animal sacrifice was what? To make atonement for our transgressions. So the Most High requires you to be in obedience to His laws, statutes, and commandments, rather than you to make a priority of making the sacrifices. Right? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice,
That's right.
and to hearken than the fat of rams. The fat of rams is supposed to take away your transgression. Let's get into the scripture. Psalm 51 verse 16. Psalms 51 verse 16.
Say kind when you have it. Alright. Psalms chapter 51 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
For thou desirest not sacrifice.
Right. The Most High desires not sacrifice. That's not what the Most High desired. Read on.
Else would I give it.
Mm-hmm.
Thou delightest not in burnt offerings.
Mm-hmm.
The sacrifices of gods are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart, O God.
Right. That's what the Most High desires of us. A broken spirit and a contrite heart. What does it mean, a broken spirit? Mean what? You're pouring your heart to the Most High. You're being repentant. Understand? Being a contrite spirit. Meaning what? Your humility, and you're repentant, asking the Most High for forgiveness of the transgression. That's what the Most High requires. Not sacrifices of animals, but obedience. And if you transgress, then what? You diligently and earnestly ask for forgiveness of your transgressions, and the Most High will receive you. That's what the Most High requires of us. If in a time of weakness we transgress, then we can a contrite spirit, a broken heart. Mean what? You really, really, really are remorseful for your transgression. You really, really, really earnestly are repentant for your transgression. And if you are of that mindset, the Most High will forgive you, wipe your slate clean of your transgression. That's what we do it also when we keep on the Day of Atonement. We go over scriptures like these to remind you of to have a contrite spirit, a broken heart, repentant. Understanding the Most High will forgive you through the everlasting mercies of the Most High by Shem Mashiach, He will forgive us of our transgressions. Read on in Psalms. More? Is there more Psalms?
I think that's it.
Verse 19?
We on at 18 now.
Read on.
Verse 18. Do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion.
What is good? Laws of the Most High is good, right? Keep the commandments of the Most High. Read.
Build thou the walls of Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Then shalt thou be pleased with thee sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offerings, the whole burnt offerings. Then,
right. That's when the Most High is going to be acceptant of your animal sacrifices. When you're in obedience to His laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. Go back to Samuel.
1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Right. The rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. Of your working, voodoo, Santa Maria, all those things, all those different forms or variations of witchcraft. Rebellion, what's rebellion? Disobedience. When you know what's right, but you just adamantly go against it, deliberately go against the Most High's commandment. That's like witchcraft. The Most High equates that which overworking, voodoo, and form of witchcraft. It's on the same level. It's not like when you ignorantly disobey the Most High's laws because you didn't know that was such and such of the law. But when you know the commandments and you deliberately break them, the Most High equates that. He puts it on the same level as witchcraft, which you know is what? Abominable. Read.
For Shalom. Hallelujah. Verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and adultery. But because thou hast rejected the word of the Most High, and have also rejected thee from being king. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Most High, and thy words, because I fear the people and obeyed their voice.
Right, so because Saul rejected the words of the Most High rejected him from being king. And Saul at this point now was kind of being repentant and acknowledged his transgression to Saul. Now therefore I pray thee. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Most High, and thy words, and the wisdom and the counsel that Samuel was giving him, because I fear the people and obey their voice. So he was now what? He wanted the loyalty of the people rather than to obey the Most High. So that's why he allowed the people to do what they did. Go ahead.
I was just thinking that sounds like Aaron.
Yeah, when Aaron went out, Mm-hmm. When Moses went up to Mount Sinai. Yeah. It's meant they always try to blame the people for their own shortcoming, for their own disobedience. Aaron said, that's what the people wanted. Yeah, exactly what it is. It's kind of reminiscent of what Aaron did with a car. Adam, you know what I'm saying? Always trying to point the finger. Read on.
Verse 25. Now, therefore, I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Most High.
Wait a second, let me, that's what the scripture says. Just 35. I read 24 going on again.
24?
Yeah.
Verse 24.
I'm going to wrap up this chapter.
And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandments of the Most High, and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord.
Now he's asking Samuel to pardon his transgression. He should be asking the Most High to pardon his transgression. You know, that's the problem with Saul right there. He trying to get on the good side of man rather than the good side of the Most High. Read.
Verse 26. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle and rent it. And Samuel said unto him, the Most High hath rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. And also the strength of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. Then he said, I have sinned. Yet honor me now, I pray thee, before elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Most High thy power.
Right, so Saul knows there, you realize that knows that his ego now, getting bruised now. You realize that it's pride now. You realize that hey, it's slipping away. Your rulership that you thought you was gonna have for a long time is slipping away from you. And the Most High is no longer gonna be. I'm not gonna be your prophet anymore. I'm not gonna be with you anymore. So right away you're gonna lose credibility. And once people see that I'm not your prophet, not your prophet anymore, their loyalty to you is gonna, they're gonna withdraw their loyalty from you. So Samuel Saul was insisting that, turn again, roll with me again, be with me again, and anoint me in the company of the elders, fucking in the respect of the people.
Verse 31. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped the Lord. Then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites.
Right. So Saul yielded to you saw that. So Samuel yielded to Saul. They saw that Saul was sincere of his actions, regretful of his actions that he has taken. So he turned again with Saul and stayed with being his prophet. Then said Samuel. Then said Samuel. Read 32 again.
Verse 32. Then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past.
Right. So Samuel said, bring me Agag the Amalekite. So Agag came out walking delicately. I don't know, maybe I don't know what delicate means. Walking daintily, like
Slow. Walking like Donald Trump at a press conference.
and Agag said, nobody's walking delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past. But he said, the bitterness of death is past. You know what? He thought it wasn't going to kill him anymore. He thought it was safe now. I guess it was walking casually, it's all good. No, he probably wasn't nervous anymore. Maybe he was nervous initially, but by this point he said he thought the bitterness of death has passed. So he thought maybe it was safe now. So all good now. So he's just walking casually, nonchalantly as everything's all right. Read.
Verse 33. And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made woman childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal.
Wow. Samuel was no joke. Samuel killed Hagar. So Samuel did what Saul was supposed to have done, kill Hagar. Samuel said, as thy sword hath made women childless. Meaning what? Women childless because He killed the men.
sons.
He killed the men, right. So shall thy mother be childless among women. Right. Right, he killed the son, right. And Samuel hewed Hagar in. He hewed him in pieces.
I like wood.
Like a wood, like an ox. You know, like in the forest, chopping the tree,
Mhm.
and chopping the tree, the trunk of the tree in different
And
pieces.
leave it in the pile.
Yeah, that's what he did to Aga. He hewed him in pieces. Moses is a man of war. Before the Mosai Gilgal, read.
Then Samuel went to Ramah, verse 34. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house in Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Lord repented that he had made Saul king over Israel.
Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and Saul repented that he, and the Most High repented that he had made Saul king over Israel. Okay, so the Most High saw the disobedience in Saul, that he wasn't trying to follow his laws, statutes, and commandments the way he wanted it. So he regretted that he made King Saul king over Israel. Okay, so we're going to conclude today's lesson at the end of chapter 15. The Most High willing, we continue next week. Chapter 16. The Shalom Yasharala. All Israel for logging in. Live stream, YouTube live. Okay, don't forget tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Most High willing, we'll have the Hebrew class. And at 12 noon, we'll have the continuation of the Shabbat service. About Shomash Shawshai. We're going to say, Amadim Wapanya, Yerushalayim, turn to face Jerusalem. Yeah. Psalm 133. Shayar,
Shayar,
Hama'aiwa,
Hama'aiwa,
Ladawad,
Ladawad,
Ana, Ma, Tawab, Wama, Na'ayam, Shabbat, Akyam, Gam, Yakad, Kashaman, Atawab, Al, Ara'ash, Yarad, Zakwan, Ha'aran, Shayaran, Payah, Madawakyawa, Katal, Aramwan, Shayarad, Hararia, Tazayawa, Kaya, Sham, Tazawa, Yahawa, Habaraka, Kayawam, Ayalam, Bahasham, Mashiach, Yahushua, the water, Aman.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded the blessings, even life forevermore. Bahashem Amashiach Yahawashai, the Wadatum Yad, Man.
Hallelujah.